On today's tutorial, I want to go over an easier way to memorize subnetting. I, in my opinion, believe that Cisco and a lot of instructors make it a little more complicated than it needs to be with the whole, is this bit on, is this bit off? In my mind, that's a little confusing. How I memorize and learn things better is somewhat through memorization and like a graphical representation. When I was going through my CCNA, we had to write this graph 15 times every single night on separate pieces of paper. We would go into our instructor in the morning, he would count, make sure it had 15, and then he would rip it up in front of our face, and that way the next night we couldn't use the exact same ones and try to cheat the system somehow. But I thank him that we had to do this, because to this day, 3-4 years later, it's definitely how I memorize it and how I learn. Every single Cisco certification I ever take, as soon as the test starts, I basically brain dump this on the whiteboard that they give you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before I do want to start, let me backtrack. I want to say that this video is for people who have somewhat of an understanding and concept of how subnetting works. I'm not going to go into the background on why we do it. That's for a different video, but this is just for the people that cannot fully grasp how to subnet. They understand the concept, why you do it, but just cannot fully grasp. And I'm going to teach an easier way to learn that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write a bit representation of the last octet, and I'll go into the third octet as well. So right now we're working in the fourth octet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, period, and we'll just go into the third octet. We'll just do 1, right? 1 in the third octet. So right here is our fourth octet, right? 8 bits in an octet, working on our fourth one. Overall, there's 32 bits in an IPv4 address. So we're going to write the CIDR. The CIDR is a representation for the bit in that IP address. So right, the last bit in the fourth octet is the 32nd bit, right? So /32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Right, so that's what those CIDRs mean, as they're just a numerical representation of where that bit falls in the IP address. Right, so if you ever heard CIDR, that's what that means. The next thing I'm going to draw is the subnet mask for each CIDR, right? So /32, and this is going to take some memorization. This is what helps you when you write down this graph every single night, if you choose to do so. So I already know a /32, and I don't know it off the top of my head, to be honest. If you ask me what a /27 is, right now off the top of my head, within a second of answering, I couldn't tell you. But because I have this graph memorized, I can either do it on my fingers or write it out if need be. So, but I do know it if I go in reverse order. So I know the last one is a 255. The next is a 254. And right now I'm working in the fourth octet. So let me clarify. The first 3 octets would be this: 255.255. 255 dot x, and that's what these numbers represent in this fourth octet, is that dot x. So dot 255 dot 254 dot 252 248 240 224 192 128. And right now we are shifting to the left of the fourth octet, going to the third octet. So this one would be, in the third octet, it would be 255, and in the fourth octet, it would be 0. And we would go on, if we kept going, so /23 would be a 254. And if you look, the last one in the fourth octet is a .255. The last one in the third octet is a .255.0, and it would be the exact same if I went so on and so forth. So this one would be a 254.0. The next one would be a .252.0, and all the way. And same thing in the second octet and the first octet. The third thing on this chart I want to show you is how many total IP addresses each one gives you, right? So It's super simple. You just start out and then it doubles every time. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, and all the way down the line. So right now, just because I have this chart, if you ask me what is a /27, how many total IP addresses would we get? Remember, total, you have your network IP, which is the first total IP in that range, and then you have your broadcast, which is the last one. Everything in between there is usable. So /27, you would have 32 total IP addresses, and your subnet mask would be 255.255.224. Let me give you an example. If I wrote 10.10.10.21/30, could you give me the network, broadcast, and usable IPs within that range? Well, let's start at the /30, right? /30 means there's 4 total IP addresses within that range. So as we know, all IPs start at 0, right? So 0 to 3 would be my first one, and then I would just count by 4. So 0, 4, 8, 16, 20, right? So 21 falls between 20 and 24. So it's in the 22, because we count 20, 21, 22, 23. That gives us our 4 IPs, right? So 20 is our network. 23 is our broadcast, and everything in between there is our usables. So we would have 2 usables and 4 totals. Hope that's a quick how-to. I hope this helps you learn it. If you have any problems, please try to memorize this chart and write it over and over and over again. And please feel free to DM me and ask any questions. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please let me know if there's anything else you guys would like me to make a video on.